Hey guys, it's Kathleen Petula. I want to welcome you to our Basics of the Basics group. This is a pilot group for me. I've been a coach for a while now, but this is the first time I'm running a group like this, and this was the inspiration behind the group. So if you don't know my story, I want to tell it to you really quickly. I am a mom of three boys, and after we had our third son, I was the most unhealthy I had been and weighed the most I had ever weighed, and I just couldn't figure out how to lose the weight. My husband and I had moved to a new home that was a little further away. It was a longer commute for us, and the three boys were in daycare 3 days a week when I worked. And so we had long days that resulted in us coming home and, putting on the table whatever we could muster, often frozen pizzas and lots of pasta, stuff like that. And we just, my husband and I had enough, and we thought we have to take back some control somehow. We felt like we were drowning, and I joked that I was drowning with just my nose and mouth sticking out of the water, and my husband kind of trumped me and said that he felt like he just had a straw sticking out. And we happened to thankfully win a trip off the radio for 2 nights in Myrtle Beach, and we took that opportunity to really sit down, just him and I, and talk about our goals and our things that we wanted to accomplish and things that are going on right now and things long term and whatever. And it all came down to that we just really needed to start somewhere. So what we literally did when we got back was we decided that we would start with exercise. And for us at the time, that just meant we had a recumbent bike and we had our running shoes. So we literally took a calendar. I pulled the pages out of another calendar, and I literally masking taped them onto the wall of our bathroom. And we gave each other permission, guilt-free, to take a half an hour 3 times a week and go exercise. So that's how we got started. It wasn't with this huge going all in plan and jumping into all kinds of exercise or whatever. We literally got started with putting a calendar up where we could see it every day and checking off the days that we exercised. And for me, that started a little bit of a ripple effect. So I started thinking, okay, if I can add that in, maybe I could add something else in. But as far as my weight loss went, it got me a little bit of a ways. It got me out of the maternity pants I was still wearing, even though my son was, I can't even remember, 7, 8, 9 months old. Got me out of my maternity pants, but it didn't really get me comfortably back into my regular pants. I was still having trouble buttoning them. And quite frankly, I couldn't afford to buy a new wardrobe. And that was motivation enough for me to keep going. So I found a group online. It was a clean eating and Shakeology group, and it was being run by somebody I sort of knew, but not really, and whatever. But I just was at the end of my rope, and I needed to do something. I felt terrible about myself. I did not like the way I looked in the mirror. I did not like the way I felt, which was, even though I was running pretty regularly, I still felt tired and no energy, and it was really tough. So I joined that group, and I started learning the basics of what clean eating means. And essentially, we'll talk all about that in this group, but essentially it means to start cutting back on some of the processed foods. And it means eating a little bit more often so that your metabolism starts working for you instead of against you. And we'll talk about all those things in here. But essentially, what happened was once I started making this shift in my nutrition, things really started to happen for me in terms of weight loss, but also in terms of how I felt, which was huge. So when we started doing these groups, after that I became a coach myself because I loved the process. I loved how being supported online by other people worked for me, and I wanted to share that with other people, originally as something to do just on the side, but then I decided to go all in and make this my full-time gig, which is what I do now. But anyway, when I started thinking about this group, it occurred to me that maybe some of the other groups that we do, which work for some people, maybe what other people might need, and maybe this is what will help you, and hopefully being part of this group will mean something to you. But what we thought was maybe, or what I thought was maybe people don't want to go all in. I didn't want to go all in the beginning. I needed something that would just be small steps that I could take, that I could find some peace in my mind about the direction I was going. There was just no way I was going to go all in with the workout program at first. I just needed small steps, and there was also no way I would be able to go all in with the nutrition program either. Small steps is what I started doing, and hopefully that might be what works for you too. So here's the way this group's going to work. So I'm going to put together, I have already purchased them, binders for each of you in the group. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually send them to you, and they're going to have in them a calendar with, I'm going to send you a little thing so that you can stick them on the wall wherever you're going to put yours. Maybe it's in the bathroom as well, or maybe it's going to be in your bedroom or wherever you're going to see it every day. And you're going to pick how often you can exercise. Maybe for you that will be 2 times a week or 3 or 4 or whatever. And you're going to mark it off, and you're going to show us in the group your calendar. And you can do that however you want, with checks or stars or whatever, gold stars maybe, smiley faces, I don't know. Anyway, then I'm also going to send you blank meal plans, which I'm going to walk you through and help you figure out how to fill those out and what to put in there. I'm also going to make you copies of some of my favorite healthy recipes that I've found. That I have 5 in my family, so pleasing all of them is something that doesn't happen always or often even. But I'm going to send you some of my favorite healthy dinner meals recipes, and they'll be in there like a cookbook, so you can use them, or maybe if you find other ones, I would encourage you to print them out and stick them in there too. Or if you find that one of them doesn't work for you, then change it up and make it work for your family. And then we're also going to do something in this group as well, which is to figure out reasonable goals that you can achieve, and then we're going to break them down into easy to manage steps. So nobody gets discouraged and nobody gets left behind. Everybody's going to be a part of this group and feel some success. No matter how small it may seem in the beginning, everybody's going to win the day, which is my motto for 2015. It's not about the big end thing. It's about winning each individual day and then making it a little bit better the next day. So anyway, so very, very glad you're here. I'm so excited to try this group out. I absolutely welcome your feedback. And most of all, I encourage your participation in the group, because it can only help me improve this group for future people and for all of you as we go through it together. So thank you so much for being here, and we will talk to you soon.